Quindi leggo dal bellissimo libro che è considerato mi fa ridere come
So I read from the
il
beautiful book that is considered
Luca forse sì, è
as the
l'anno profondo
palimpsest
questo,
of
no? È
positive
considerato
thinking,
come il
which
palinsesto del
makes me
pensiero
laugh.
positivo,
In
un
fact, it
insegnamento che
is a
invece
teaching
ci
that
porta
takes
oltre
us
il pensiero,
beyond
sia
both
positivo che
positive and
negativo,
negative thinking,
ed è
and
messaggio
its
per una
title
famiglia che
is
si credo qui intorno.
Awareness.
Mm?
This
Questo
is even the
addirittura
price in lire,
insomma
so it dates back
risale
to when
a quando
Cujo
Cujo
was
era
young.
giovane.
Oh
O
no,
no? O
that
era
was
molto
long
prima.
before.
Allora, leggo a
I
pagina
read only a few
76,
lines
soltanto
on
poche
page
righe.
63.
La vita
The unaware life
inconsapevole
is a
è una
mechanical
vita
life.
meccanica,
It's not
non è
human,
umana,
it's
è
programmed,
programmata,
conditioned.
condizionata.
We might as
Potremmo
well be a
essere una
stone,
pietra,
a
un
piece
pezzo
of
di
wood.
legno.
Now, I skip
Ora
the part where
salto la
Tony de
parte nella
Mello
quale Tony De
tells us
Mello
that
ci dice
one
che
of the
una delle caratteristiche
characteristics of an awareness
dell'inconsapevolezza è
is
la
complaining,
lamentela, e quindi
so
capirete
you
perché
will
dice questo.
understand why he says
Dopo che
this.
vi lamentate
After you
continuamente credendo
constantly
ai
complain,
vostri motivi per
believing your
lamentarvi,
reasons for complaining,
improvvisamente,
continues de
continua De
Mello,
Mello,
you're
venite
suddenly
fulminati
jolted
dalla
into the
consapevolezza
realization
che il
that
99% delle persone qui
99.9% of
presenti non
people
sta
here
meglio di voi.
are not doing much better.
Certo potete andare al cinema,
You can go to
girare
the
in
movies,
automobile,
drive around in a car,
fare una
you can
crociera.
go for a cruise.
Credete di essere
Do you
messi molto
think you're
meglio di
much
quei
better
fulminati?
off than they are?
De Mello ci
De
dice,
Mello
il
tells
fatto
us
che
the
possiate
fact
fare
that
cose
doing things
esteriormente più
outwardly
ricche
richer
vi fa
makes you
pensare il
think
più
and
delle
delude
state
yourself
messi
that you
meglio
are
di quelli
better
che
off
quelle
than
cose
those who
esteriori non
cannot do
possono
those
fare, che
outward
magari non possono andare
things,
in crociera,
who
che
maybe
magari
can't
non
go
vanno
on a
in automobile
cruise,
o non hanno
who
una bella
perhaps don't have a
automobile,
car
che
or a nice
magari
car,
non vanno in
who maybe
vacanza. Non
don't
so se
go
si
on
vede, ma
vacation.
abbiamo anche il caro
I
Buck
don't
che
know if you
Ulisse
see
anche
Buck.
accetta,
We also have dear
che è il
Buck,
cane del
whom
nostro
Ulysses
Tesla,
also
un
accepts, who
simpaticissimo
is the dog
Cavalier
of our
King, e
Tesla,
anche lui vi dà il
an
benvenuto.
adorable Cavalier King who also welcomes you.
Quindi qui De Mello porta
So
l'attenzione
here
sul
De Mello
fatto che
draws attention to the
avere,
fact that
ecco,
having,
ciao, ciao,
hello,
avere,
hello
ciao,
Buck,
ciao, avere
having
certe
certain
cose non vuol
things
dire che noi
doesn't mean
stiamo
that we are
meglio di
better
quelle che
off than
queste cose
those
non
who
ce
don't
l'hanno.
have these
Attenzione,
things.
meglio nel
Attention,
senso
better in the
spirituale del
spiritual
termine,
sense of the
cioè non
term,
siamo più
that is,
consapevoli,
we're not
il
more
che non vuole
aware.
dire che non stiamo
That
più
doesn't mean
comodi in
that we
una
aren't more
casa comoda
comfortable in a
o non sia
comfortable
meglio
home,
vivere in un
or
ambiente
that
più
it is not
pulito
better to
piuttosto
live
che
in a
in un
cleaner
ambiente sporco,
environment than in
o
a
che non
dirty
sia
one,
meglio avere da
or
mangiare
it is
anziché
not
non
better to
avere.
have
Per
food
favore, non
rather
siate un
than
vestito
not
sul
have
serio,
it.
non sarete
Please
mai
don't be a
pronti
dress on a chair. You will
all'illuminazione
never be ready
interiore,
for
a
enlightenment,
scoprire
inner
Dio.
clicks, to
Quindi
discover
prendete tutto
God.
questo con
So take all
intelligenza.
these with intelligence.
Leggo le ultime
I
righe.
read the last lines.
Siete
You are
morti
just as dead
tanto
as they
quanto
are,
loro.
just as much a
Siete
machine
macchine
as
tanto
they
quanto
are,
loro. Quindi
so
ricchi o
rich or
poveri
poor
esteriormente.
outwardly,
Macchine
a
forse
slightly bigger
leggermente più
one,
belle, ma
but a
sempre
machine
macchine.
nevertheless.
Ed
That's sad.
è triste
It's sad to
pensare che le
think
persone
that people
vivano
go
la
through
propria vita
life
in
like
questo modo.
this.
La
People go
gente
through
vive
life with
con delle
fixed
idee fisse,
ideas.
non cambia
They
mai.
never change. They're just not
Semplicemente
aware
non
of
si
what's
rende
going
conto di
on.
cosa accade.
They
Tanto
might as
varrebbe
well
che le
be
persone
pieces of
fossero dei
wood
pezzi di legno
or
o
rocks,
delle pietre,
talking,
delle macchine che
walking,
parlano,
thinking
camminando, pensando.
machines.
Tutto questo non è
That's not
umano.
human.
Sono dei
They are
pupazzi,
puppets,
sbattuti
dragged
da
around
tutte le
by all
parti.
kinds of things.
Ecco, mi
I like
piace
starting with this somewhat
iniziare con questa
dramatic
lettura un po'
reading because
drammatica,
until we become aware,
perché fino a
not to the
quando non
deepest
prendiamo
part of
coscienza,
ourselves,
anche non
but of
della
the less
parte più
superficial
profonda di
parts,
noi, ma delle
those
parti
under the
meno
surface of the
superficiali,
rippling water, so
quelle
to
sotto il
speak,
pelo dell'acqua
until we become
increspata,
aware
diciamo
of
così,
them,
noi
we will
saremo
always
sempre
be
macchine,
machines.
macchine
Beautiful
belle, macchine
machines,
lussuose,
luxurious
macchine
machines,
povere,
poor
macchine
machines,
brutte,
ugly
macchine che
machines,
vivono
machines that live in a super
in una super
house or
casa
make
o
super
che fanno dei
trips,
super viaggi,
yet
ma
not really
sempre
alive.
non ancora veramente vivi. E questo fa eco
And
al
this
bellissimo
echoes the
pezzo di
beautiful
film
piece of the
di
film
Matrix che
Matrix,
abbiamo
which we
interiorizzato la
interiorized last
scorsa
time.
volta.
De
De
Mello
Mello
talks
parla
about
di
fixed
idee fisse.
ideas.
Ecco,
Here is one
una
of the
delle idee
fixed
fisse che
ideas we
abbiamo
have.
è che il
It
nostro
is that our
sentire
feeling
venga
comes
dal
from deep
profondo.
inside. But in
In realtà le
reality,
nostre
our emotions,
emozioni,
our
il nostro
feelings, are
sentire,
often
sono proprio
something
spesso,
which, I
cosa che
repeat,
ripeto è
is wonderful
meraviglioso
to have,
avere, ma
but
qualcosa che
something
ci
that
distoglie
distracts
dallo
us from
scoprire chi
discovering
siamo,
who we
proprio
really
perché le
are,
consideriamo così
because we are
importanti nella
considering them
nostra
so
vita.
important in our
Quindi
life.
oggi ci occuperemo
So
con
today
una
we will
breve
deal with the
lettura e con
short
tante
reading
scenette
and short
di
sketches
vedere
to simply
semplicemente
see
questo
these
senza
without
condannarlo.
condemning it.
Ecco, ripeto,
So, once
spostarsi dal
again,
pensare al
moving from
sentire
thinking
non è
to
un grande
feeling is not a great
spostamento.
shift.
Il grande
The great
spostamento,
shift,
per
pointing back to the beloved Romana Marci, whom you might have seen at the beginning in a photo that I love to have at home. The great shift is when we go from those who think and feel to who we are. That is, it's not so much what we feel and what we think, but rather to find out who the observer is, who lives all this. So this is the real leap. This is the real interiorization, to find out who is feeling this, who is thinking this, and not really going from thinking to feeling when we still don't know whom all this happens to. Therefore, getting lost in thinking and feeling while we still don't know who we really are. By heart, the Buddha, Ramana Maharshi, and other great masters that we love mean the center of the being and not the engine of emotions and thoughts. So, with this clarified, when we hear teachings such as to be in one's heart, to open one's heart, let's remember that this doesn't mean feeding emotions, getting lost in feelings, or thinking that feeling is the voice of the inner masters. Feeling is conditioned. I'll give an example that I often give during the summer group retreats in Sardinia and Sicily. Suppose I have, that's not my case, but suppose I had a parent, a father, a fisherman, who died at sea. And suppose that Tesla is a diver who loves going out to sea. When he and I look at the same sea, will we feel the same? I repeat, I lost my dad. It is not the real case, but I just give an example. Many years ago I lost my dad, who drowned in the sea. He is a diving enthusiast instead. When he and I, side by side, look at the sea, do you think that we feel the same thing, deep inside? No, right? And why don't he and I feel the same thing, looking at the same sea, maybe from the same cliff, at the same instant? Because feeling is conditioned by our past. So when I feel something deep inside, it's a beautiful thing. Thank goodness we have our feelings, our sensations, a deep feeling. However, we must remember that if we feel the call to God, to discover who we really are, we will have to move our awareness much deeper, far beyond any feeling. I repeat, whatever you feel, it is beautiful that you feel it, but your feeling is conditioned by your past, and since the feeling changes all the time, it is not who you really are, precisely because you and I have different feeling. I repeat it once again because it helps to understand, because we have had different past. If I am on the edge of the road and my son has been hit by a car, or I am on the edge of the road and I am an engineer who designs cars, I will watch the cars go by with a completely different feeling. The same cars going by. In one case, I will look at the engine, the tires, the design. You will remember the sketch that was performed last time on a street where one, Patrizia, saw the past, looked at the history, Steve, the engineer, looked at the future, and Jack played a bit the pseudo-spiritual. So it is the same thing. I watch the cars go by and feel a completely different thing if I am a car designer or my son was hit by a car and may be killed in that accident. Yet it is a profound feeling. Good, how beautiful, but don't be a slave to it. If you want to discover the being beyond the forms, you will also have to go beyond the forms of feeling, welcoming it, knowing it, but unleashing it.